is it really peanut butter? We don't know. We just know it's from each other.
That's foul. That's the intro line right there. That's the intro.
That is foul.
So gross.
Oh.
That's worse than a
Well, anyways, welcome to the Rusty Chatters podcast, and this is how we're starting off today.
Getting
Bunch
extra.
of anal raps, and that's what happens when you're hanging out with your boys and his boy's wife. So she knows what's up.
Yep.
Hi, guys.
Wow, that was a fun time, man. As I say, Barry sounds like Blueface on the track. That bitch can't stand rhythm for nothing when he freestyles. Like, Blueface, baby. Yeah, all right. Yeah.
It's alright, man, dude.
Ain't
Your every other word's I got a bald head. Like, fuck you.
Oh, man.
I got a bald head.
All right.
That's his favorite phrase.
So, early this morning, me and my boy Barry hit up the gym. He's not much of a morning person, apparently, but I think he's happy now that I convinced him. And I also convinced him to get his vaccine shot. Ooh, +1 for Russell here.
I thought we weren't getting political.
That's not political.
That's
That is really political.
All right.
Can
So,
we
hey,
raise
I
the
did-
hands if this is political?
It's not
One,
political.
Okay,
two,
we'll avoid
three.
it. All right, we'll avoid it. Just
No,
cut
no.
it.
Barry didn't raise
No, but it is funny though, because I did go get my first shot today, and it was funny because I told Russell if I died, it was on him and he had to inherit my debt. And
What debt?
and I even wrote it down on a piece of paper. It's in my car. And
Just for insurance.
yeah, insurance purpose reasons only.
As long as both of your signatures are on it.
And it was
That's
it was
legal
super funny.
document
So,
right
like,
there.
I did send him a picture of my vaccination card.
Need your
And I was like, hey man, if I die, it's on you. You know what I mean? It's after I wrote that. I wrote it before I even walked in.
So you got the,
And,
the Moderna?
Yeah, and afterwards it was like Russell sent some bullshit, and back I don't know what he said, but I was like, hey man. I was like, I'm getting transported to Biloxi Biloxi Regional VA, and I was like having a severe allergic reaction just so he would feel bad, because he was hammering me about getting it earlier, and he called me 30 minutes later, and he's like, dude, are you all right? And I was like, I at that point in time, I was busy at work, and I was like, yeah, man, I was fine. I was just fucking with you. He called me at an inopportune time to continue fucking with him, but. But yeah, that's kind of how that went down.
There you go.
If only they knew what a widow anchor Snapchat group looked like.
Oh,
What was
man.
it last week when we all got into it? Well, it was really just me and Rusty.
Yeah, man, it gets pretty wild.
Dude,
man.
me and old Rusty argued about that shit for their entire workout this morning, for 2.5 hours, just fucking going back and forth.
It gets wild, man.
And then I eventually just said, fuck it. I was like, I'll just go to the VA real quick and get us right there.
Yeah, that VA, man. You always bitching about the VA, Barry.
No, I mean,
Honestly, I hear a lot of people bitching about the VA.
well,
They don't take care of us soldiers.
I mean, I hate to
correct?
say it. I mean, you're bitching about something free, so I mean, it's like,
I don't know, but
it's
sacrificing your life.
Dude,
I mean, it's like dying of thirst, but you're bitching about a warm bottle of water. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, it fucking sucks, but I mean, it gets the job done.
dude, speaking of this morning, dude, Barry, it was this morning. Barry's my hero. Barry was in the bathroom. Some rando walks in, takes a piss, walks out, but goes, hey, man, you ain't gonna wash your hands? He just calls that fucking man out. I'm like, Barry. And he's like, oh, yeah, I was. And he starts washing.
Hey, but for real, have you ever peed not touching your wiener?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes,
Honestly, I won't wash my hands sometimes because I don't actually touch
I
my
mean,
wiener.
it
Is
depends
that
on the place.
possible for men? Y'all literally can just pee.
Yeah, no,
without touching your
just a
penis?
few
I'll show you
seconds
right
ago,
now.
I pulled my shorts down
Bear
and I
stomach.
literally just let it dangle. I didn't touch my wiener and I peed and I didn't wash my hands.
But you know what, dude?
What?
Honestly,
He was fully torqued, let's be clear. That kind of helps.
no,
being
fully torqued would be like peeing into the back of the part that you sit on, or not.
I had
the part you sit
I
on,
had a weird.
the part that's on your back.
Hey, but
No, for
also,
real, I had a weird,
before we get
interaction.
too sidetracked, it also depends on the place you're at. If I decide to wash my hands or not, 'cause do I want to touch that sink, or is my wiener cleaner?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Tony,
okay.
Some public restrooms,
Well,
I'll be
because,
using a napkin.
Dude, because
Just
my
turn
wiener's
the
a
sink
lot
off.
cleaner in a lot of places.
Okay.
Generally, I just showered before I went somewhere.
So I have to add on. This is the topic. I'm trying to work on my better transitions here, as a request of the podcast folk. And a good transition here is talking about all this stuff. So Barry said it depends on where he goes to wash his hands. Well, it depends on where I go if I'm pissing in the sink or not. And it just so happens pretty much every time I go to Waffle House, I pee in the sink instead of peeing in the toilet.
Well, you know
because
I'm not saying that's not acceptable.
I mean, it's but because the reason I do it is it's just such a height. It's just a perfect height, and I don't have to get on my calves or anything. But it's also because that I'm like, I think I'm pee in the Waffle House bathroom. That's a dirty bathroom. People throw up in there, and you wipe their bloody nose from fist fights
so
outside.
let me just pee in the sink.
Yeah, because hot water and soap runs through there. So I'm like, this is actually pretty clean. So that's why I pee in the Waffle House sink. It started out as a joke when I was 15, and it was funny. And now every time I pee it, I'm like, and I'm like Beavis or Butthead doing it because it just reminds me of that time.
I'm generally just not a piece of shit, so I don't do stuff like that.
No, but I will tell you,
that's just me personally.
Is that I have peed in the sink, but that was because, like, you know, I'm going to bed and it's not coming out, and I'm really tired, but I know that if I go to sleep, I'm going to wake up in a few minutes or an hour or so, having to really pee with a full bladder, so I use the warm water, and I like, splash it on myself.
Okay.
And it like...
So that's
I don't know
worse.
what that is, but that literally helps me.
Yeah, you're just being
urinate.
weird with it.
No. Okay, so no, it's the same thing. Like when you get in the shower,
That's basically
warm
like your
water.
mom bringing you a warm glass of milk.
Imagine waking up and Michael's over there just flogging his dolphin with some warm water. I'm like, what
Hey,
the fuck? And
I
his
just want to
mom
let
is
you know that everybody, all my friends, I peed in your sink.
oh,
Every one of my
Michael.
friends, I beat off in your shower. By the way.
it's
Michael,
I
you
learned my
better not
lesson.
have
I
pee in my
don't
sink.
do that.
Michael,
Well,
you
first
better
of
not
all,
have pee in my
showers
sink
make
in
you
my house.
flaccid.
I'm looking at you.
Not y'all's house, but y'all's apartment probably.
damn. He's a serial pisser over here.
You know what? No, it's only at night when like I can't, like I'm trying to go to bed, but I'm super tired. And then it's like, you know, I think to
You're
myself,
super tired. She's like, you know what? I should go pee in this fucking sink.
Okay.
Like,
All right.
That's-
Specifically
well,
after
that-
intercourse.
Hey,
you know?
I'm super tired, but this is gonna be peace of mind. Like I'll be able to rest.
No,
Rest assuredly at this point.
I can't be the
Like,
only one. I
fuck is
cannot
wrong
be
with
the only one. No, the reason
I
why,
know
okay, when you're
I'm
in the
not
shower,
the
and
only
the hot
one.
water literally goes down your pecker, and you just,
Down your pecker.
your penis. Okay? And it like it hits it, and then you start peeing. Like every male pees in the shower, and that's literally because warm water. It's the same reason why dogs, like mother dogs, lick their pups, like
Oh.
private parts, because the warmth of their tongue, their saliva, literally.
That's
helps
just
them
mother
urinate.
dog.
Are you a
I'm
mother
calling
dog?
myself a dog, man. I
I'm
mean,
just
men have been
saying,
known to be dogs, right?
Like literally, I'm just saying, guys are so lucky when it comes to the point of how y'all can pee because the only thing I can do is just literally squat over a toilet. I got strong thighs, so I can hold myself up.
You can
Oh, yeah.
you
Time,
can probably
like, I
straddle a toilet. And
I mean,
piss
I
all over the
UFO
seat.
every once in a while. I'm
I
trying
just-
to take a poop in public.
Oh no, I can't poop in public.
I can't
Oh,
poop
I
in
will
public
poop in
because
public.
I have
I
ass
will
hair,
straight up
and you
wall
need-
squat. Basically,
You need
just
moisture and
covered
towels to
UFO.
clean that up.
Well, dude,
Dude, if you have a lot of ass hair like I do, you gotta
You gotta shave your butthole.
Well, first of all, you need
oh,
some moisture on a towelette to
I know a guy who
properly take a shit in
spits on the
public.
toilet paper.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, public restrooms do not have towelettes, moist
Dude,
towelettes.
it was only the worst place I've
Like,
ever
yes,
shit.
you gotta. You know, I mean, I'm saying like, I'm just throwing out there. You go to a place that serves wings. They might give you a couple of them, but it's not enough to
Oh,
like
gosh.
knock it out before you leave. I'm gonna tell you that
Nah,
right now.
dude.
This hand
Dude,
wipe.
for real, I
Unless
made
you got about 8 people at a table and you're like, hey, can I get those? Like, it's not happening. Like,
got
you're
some
gonna hold it
dirty
until you
duties.
get home.
no, dude.
I
I
need
made
gas. You blame it on the waitress the entire time. Like, it's not happening.
I did make a mistake one time, but I don't know if it's so much mistake because I didn't walk away with anything. However, I did have to make a quick, wartime decision. I'm in the foxhole. Got my battle buddy right there. Had to make it happen. But we was at Brickyard one time.
Oh gosh, is this all
And
rusty?
You took a shit at Brickyard?
Dude,
Every time I ever been to the bathroom in Brickyard, there's
Oh, it's
always
a-
a beer bottle in the toilet.
Oh, dude. And my turd
towels.
nestled up right next to that beer bottle, too.
Oh my god!
It
Just
hugged it
snaked,
like a warm.
snaked right around the neck of that thing.
Oh, dude, I was so lucky that on this particular night there was actually toilet paper there.
Yeah, usually I just use my fingernails.
Oh, yeah, man. Dude, it was a bad deal. No,
dude,
I was
what would
legitimately...
you have done if there wasn't? Would you have
I try not to
sacrificed a
think
sock?
about that type of outcome. I just like to take it for what it was and just a lucky situation. But no, one time we was
Would
at
you
Brick.
have spit on your sock and use that?
Oh,
You got to do what you got to
God.
do at that
You
point. That's
people are
wartime. It's go
savages.
time. There's nothing.
I mean, Rusty's is still my favorite one at the old alchemy. And I walk in, and it's hilarious. It's literally Spencer and it's Barry, and they're just like guarding, like basically acting like human shields.
So Michael, paint a picture of this bathroom for people who don't know about alchemy.
It's just one toilet, no door,
Urinal.
and a urinal and a sink with a mirror that's really foggy and hazy. And the door opens up wide, and I mean, like basically, like when they open up the door, you can see the urinal. So anybody who you walk past, like walks past, and the door's open, they can see you peeing or
I've
washing
seen
your
the
hands.
urinal.
And I walk in, and it's literally Rusty. He's just sitting down taking a big old shit.
Whoa! And I would like to say, I asked that man not to, but he did. He
He said
bare
he had to
assed
go.
that toilet.
I did not bare ass it.
No, and he was
Those
sitting down on it.
allegations
He
are
wasn't even
unfounded.
UFOing it.
Dude,
Nah, he wasn't
dude,
hovering.
he had his
no,
pants-
he was
no
just cheek,
hovering.
like
cheek to dirty porcelain, bro. It was
You know how many
right.
Dude,
people
that
pee
man-
on
I'm
that
not
thing?
gonna lie, I asked him. He told me that story, and I asked him. I said, "Did you at least put toilet paper down?" He was like, "I'm sorry,
Fuck
babe.
no.
I just sat on that toilet." I was like, "Oh my god!"
You ain't got a lot of us,
hey,
Russell.
hey,
That is
I
your
would like to
husband,
say this
actually.
man had shorts on, and every guy knows there's a difference between wearing shorts, taking a shit, and wearing a pair of pants. Your shorts are touching the ground, the leg, everything. That man had that fucking, he had a soggy ass when he fucking pulled them bitches back up.
Oh, and then a guy walked in, and bro, he instantly did a 180, walked right back at the
He
door,
was like-
and I followed him out, and I watched him walk to his friend group, and I saw them like talking to him, and then all of them just started busting out.
Dude,
laughing. I
Russell
like,
was
"Yeah,
the talk of the town when he walked
It's
out that
spreading.
bathroom, man. He's like, there's a guy that took a shit in the bathroom. And then they're
Yeah,
looking
yeah.
at me and Barry like, hey, those are guys that like acted as his door. Because like legit, like
Oh,
since there's
man.
no door on that stall, we're trying to give the man some kind of privacy, but be his
Absolutely
boys
nothing.
at the same time.
No privacy.
So we stood right
Dude, I'll
there,
tell
like
you
in
what.
front of that little like hallway, and just guarded him.
No
just
matter
like,
how
hey,
bad
what's
I had
up,
to take
man?
a shit, regardless of that situation, I'd have been turtling the whole time. It would have never happened.
But what if it's watery?
Well,
There's no turtle in diarrhea.
Well, what was so
Turtle.
funny is like I'm standing like right there as his doorway or whatever, and the urinal is right there a foot away from me. A guy would still come in there and fucking like pull up and then just start pissing. I'm just sitting there watching this dude take a piss and just like guarding Russell and this dude just in there pissing right in front of me.
And I'm
like,
sitting there like talking to him like, "Hey, bro, what's the problem?" They're like, "Dude, just don't even." And I was like, "Come on, man." Yeah.
Because you're taking an awfully long time to piss there, buddy.
Yeah, it's like
You
fucking.
shy?
Yeah, you're the one being weird here.
Yeah, I was like, "Hey, man, you a Saints fan?"
Oh yeah,
They're
there was a
like-
free urinal, and he just like 180. He didn't want nothing a part of it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh,
No,
man.
there's some real troopers out there that really came in there and just
I'd have
like
just given you a
stood
high
right in
five, be
front
like,
of me,
"You know
pulled
what,
their
man?
dick out, and started pissing. So
I appreciate the confidence you have to just let loose in here.
Yeah, dude, I wish my
I just
sphincter was as
couldn't.
freeing,
I just
carefree as you, man.
I have a story of going to the park with Russell a couple days ago, and I had to go pee, and I was like, "Fuck, I have to go pee at this park. This is Meadow Vonna Park,
Uh-huh.
in the bathroom over there by the park, by the kids' park." I walked in there and I was like, "This is
That's a
the
sketchy bathroom.
nastiest bathroom I've ever seen in my life." I walked in this one stall and there's like a huge turd in here. I'm like, "What woman came in
You know
here?"
what's the funniest
to
part
straight
about
lay
that
this thing?
is that like you expect that from a dude's bathroom, but you walk into a female's bathroom and there's a big old fucking snake in there. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh!
Fucking laid up. No, it's just like laid up right outside the water up against
know
the
what?
toilet
Peek
bowl.
its head like a little turtle.
I was
Oh,
completely
and
disappointed.
talking about our last podcast, Michael would have appreciated that because he loves her for what's on the inside.
Oh, hey Russell, I thought we weren't gonna go back to this.
No, like seriously though, I was completely disappointed because I was like, how could you not flush the fucking toilet? Like, I
No,
had to
she let
walk
such
in
a
on
log. That,
I
that
peed in the
toilet
parking
can't
lot
handle
there
the
the
water
other day, and there
pressures
was
needed for
children
that.
around.
Hey, but real talk. I'll tell you what, that women compared to men, when it comes to peeing, a man's pee stream is way more like visually streamy
Like a
than
straight
a woman's. A woman's is
It's
more like a
just
sprinkler
spray.
that is like wide. Have you
No.
ever like used
I've
like the
had
handle,
Russell,
like
Yeah, it's like
the handle
Yeah.
hoses to where it's like wide spray? That is basically what it comes out.
I've
the
heard
woman.
it's
Russell
kind of like an
complain
old
about
sink
my
when you put it on
pee.
full blast.
No, I
Bro,
got a nice little
It is the
straight.
craziest thing.
Russell
Yeah.
says
It's
I
not
sound
that
like a
crazy. It's
racehorse,
got
like
fucking
pee.
like labia to go through before it gets to the fucking bowl.
Yeah, oh
I mean,
yeah.
Nah,
you
man,
can't
you just
help
be with
it.
some-
It's like a fucking like it just.
just a
like
spray.
it just comes out. And Russell's heard me pee before. He was like, "Damn, it sounds like a fucking horse is peeing in there."
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like, "Hey, I gotta fucking pee." I don't know how y'all just have a straight stream, but our shit comes out like a fucking.
Well, we don't
splash.
have anything
like a squirt
obstructing our freaking urethra though. I think about the girls that got just like labia just like falling all out. And
Smacking
everything.
around.
No, I mean
like
even
that.
no labia or not, like it doesn't matter.
You're
There
right.
could be.
You're right,
none.
but what I'm saying is like even the girls with the big labias and stuff like that just got stuff just.
Shout out to the girls with the big legs.
Yeah, shout out
I'm
to
just
girls.
telling you, dude. It is like a
We still
V.
love you.
I'm
Like
not
just
gonna
wide
lie,
angle
like,
urine spray.
I have been embarrassed a little bit, okay, because at my job, there was one point where the vent wasn't fixed in the woman's bathroom.
Nice.
So
What
it
is that
was
to
like,
do with a big labia?
it was it was super humid in there. So I thought that they were leaving the door open because you just can't fucking breathe in there. It's so humid. So at one point I went in there and
You
I
took a
peed.
shit with the door open?
No, I peed.
Yeah, she did. Look
I
at that
peed
smile.
with the door open, and when I'm in somebody,
I'm not sure that's
I'm in
any
a
better,
place
but
where
I mean-
I don't know where I'm at. I squat when I pee. So I went back to my desk, and I heard one of our coworkers in there saying, "I think a guy was in the bathroom peeing." I'm just like, and I talked to her. I'm like, "Well, I was just in there, and I was just peeing, but like the door is open, so I just left it open because I can't fucking breathe." And she was like, "Oh my god," she's like, "Girl," I was like, "Bitch, do you not pee like this? Like,
yeah,
is
what's it coming
just
out like
me?"
driplets?
I think
No, it was coming with
more-
such
I just
force. It
can't.
sounded like she was like 4 foot up off of it. You know, it had a lot of
Came through
like,
dripping.
9.8 meters per second square to just like making gravity happen and just like hit it
Well,
from
I
all the way
was
up top.
squatting
Science,
above the
bitch.
toilet. I wasn't sitting
Yeah,
on
bitch.
it, so it's like a whole like spray. Like it's not.
I don't know.
sitting
Let me
directly
tell y'all
on
something
top.
about the bathroom at work. All right, so
That
our
bitch is
guys.
steamy.
All right, so no, it's not steamy, man. We do have
Shoshana.
a vent in the bathroom. It doesn't.
Work very well.
It doesn't
but
pull the. It's not a tube vent, but I mean there is an air
You
conditioner
need to clean the
flowing in.
vent then. There's dust stuck up in it.
No.
Bet y'all's fan is looking all.
All right,
furry.
so we are the pawn shop. Next to us is our titling office, which is part of the pawn shop, but not really. It's kind of like, like the pizza place inside the gas station. It's part of the gas station, but it's not really part of the gas station.
They're connected.
Right.
They're connected, but it's its own entity kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
Like a Arby's attached to a gas station.
so every time I decide to take a dump at work, the lady who works the titling office, who has nothing to do with us, decides to come up into the bathroom and knock on the door. And granted, we do have 2 restrooms, but our men's restroom is out of order, and not because of a toilet clogged or anything like that. It's literally just like having like a drainage issue where like the toilet runs into the tractor company behind our work, and it floods their lot, and we're legal suit right now because of it, and yet we have yet to get it fixed. Of course, I mean it's probably no more than. Honestly, probably a $200 fix, but instead we're gonna spend tons more money. That's besides the point.
$25,000 lost in fake checks, and now this.
Yep, and now we have a fucking, a good old toilet clogged up.
That's one of them types of bathrooms where like I'm already going there, and as soon as I get in there, I'm already sweating now. And after I get done wiping, I can't tell whether I'm wiping sweat or shit anymore. So I have
That's
to
hold on.
really wipe-
Oh, dude.
whoa.
Honestly, it goes it like pre-moistens, your toilet paper, so you're like kind of already wiping with a baby wipe. You know?
No. I'm kind of confused because are y'all not the type of people who like after you wipe you look at the toilet paper?
Oh, we do.
Dude, who,
Okay.
you can't have a clean butt and not look at.
All
the
right,
toilet paper.
good. Because I'm like I can totally tell the difference between sweat and doo doo.
No, when you feel, no,
Yeah.
I'm saying when you feel it though, you're like that's kind of wet down there. Is that like?
Oh, it just like
that
slides
dump or is
really
that
well, like
sweat?
you had like a freshly shaved like baby oil butthole. You know what I'm saying?
You ever have an upset stomach and you get that leaky butthole?
But
Your
all right,
butthole
so
starts
let me
itching
get to the
afterwards?
point I'm trying to get across here.
Yeah.
That works next door.
Oh gosh, Barry.
So say you're taking a dump in like a bathroom that's in a hallway. Someone comes knocks on the door.
A bathroom in a hallway.
It's a bathroom in a hallway. The hallway leads to
Yeah.
the bathroom.
Thinking
All
about
right.
a urinal actually in the hallway. but-
No, I'm talking about a bathroom with a door and like its own like little spot in the hallway.
No, so bad.
So say you're taking a dump and you're obviously taking a dump. Like someone knocks on the door like, "Hey," you know what I mean? and they're like, "Oh, my bad," and I'm like, "Yeah," you know what I mean? And like this happens multiple times.
I'll be honest with you guys, dude.
What do you do? What do you do if like you're at work and you go to the bathroom and someone's obviously taking a dump in the bathroom? Do you stand by the door, or do you go back to what you're doing and come back later?
You wait for them and shame them.
No.
Look them in the
What I
face.
do is
stay
I try
alive.
to. I make no eye
so
contact.
this is what does every time. She'll wait in the hallway, like, dude, say like, because I have this weird. All right, I'm a weird guy. You know what I mean? Before I can take a dump at work, I go in there. All right, I spray the toilet down. I wipe it down. I wash my hands.
Smart.
All right, and then I take a, then I
wash
sit
my hands
down. I
after
pull
I
up my
poop.
phone, and then I start taking a dump.
Play
All right.
Candy Crush for a little while.
And whatever I'm doing, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I'm taking a
Pokemon
dump.
Go.
All right, doesn't matter if it takes me an hour. Doesn't matter if it takes 5 minutes. All right, doesn't matter if I get all out in 2. All right, regardless of that, I am obviously in there taking a shit, and that's because I'm like, hey. If not, I'd be like, hey, just a minute. You know what I mean? I'm like, hey, I'm almost done. I'm washing my hands. You know what I mean? Like, I'd say.
No, you gotta say it like this. Hey,
But
like you're squeezing.
But regardless of this chick, like, literally does it day in, day out. And it pisses me off. I've done made complaints to my managers. I'm like, hey, I'm in there taking a dump, and this shit comes in there, bangs on the door, and, like, literally waits next to the door until I get done. So it's like,
wants to
I
be
don't know what to
next.
do, so either I wipe my ass or I don't wipe my ass because I haven't even shit yet. Because this girl is, like, literally, like, breathing into the door, and I can hear her fucking breathing.
Puts
and
her
it's
phone
throwing me
underneath.
off. It's making my sphincter all tight. I can't fucking finish, regardless of what's happening.
Oh, Barry's a shy pooper.
All right, and, so I've made plenty of complaints. And then finally it happened to one of our managers the other day. And so I'm talking to
It's
him.
a girl that works with you?
No.
She works at the titling office next door.
Oh.
And so I'm like talking to my buddy, my manager or whatever, and he's like, dude, guess what happened to me in the bathroom the other day? I was like, oh, that was fucking waiting on you to finish, wasn't she? He's like, yeah. So he's like, you know what I did though, right? So I sat there and I fucking just continued playing on my phone and just did my thing for like 20 minutes, right?
Oh.
And I understand guys take long poops, you know what I mean? Because you're playing on your phone, man. You just really want to get it all out of you. You're
45
not like,
to an hour.
and that's okay. Then that's
Unless I'm in
okay.
a rush.
But so what done was came out there and said, hey, can I use your guys' bathroom? And because whoever's in there is taking forever.
Hold on, so you're in the
And-
girls' bathroom? You said, can I use your guys' bathroom?
No, our guys' bathroom's out of order because the toilet's fucked up and it overflows into the neighbor's backyard.
Makes sense now.
And
Why are you taking a shit in the girls' bathroom? Was my first thought.
And so she's like, hey, can I use your bathroom? And I'm like, no, it doesn't work. And she's like, well, I gotta go. And I was like, well, you can probably wait. You know what I mean?
There's a tree outside.
And it's like, what kind of adult can't like hold their urine or, not defecate on themselves for
Someone
like
who has a
5
bladder
extra
issue,
minutes?
Barry. Those are real things.
Oh, but you know what?
You ever heard of Depends?
But better get some. And so went back there anyways and used that man's bathroom. I was like, she came out and I was like, because homeboy hasn't came back out yet. And I was like, hey, did you just use our guy's bathroom? She's like, yeah. The water is cut off in there. Like, dude, you can't use that.
Looks like it's somebody
And
else's
she's like,
problem.
yeah, I kind of figured that out. And I was like, what? I already told you not to use it, and she used it anyways. And I was like,
Porta potty.
straight up, I was like, you're kind of being an asshole right now. And it was like, she was already an asshole by shitting in the toilet or whatever she did, which I haven't walked in there.
It's man. It's one of them big old blade tampon dumps. Is what that is.
A bloody tampon
Big
dump.
old blade tampon dump.
Oh, please explain, Russell, what you think a bloody tampon dump is because you're not a female.
Well, you take
But
a
he
dump-
has a wife.
I mean, I haven't seen actually this, but I've seen this. I clean bathrooms at a gas
No,
station.
no.
It's a bloody tampon.
This
dump.
is coming from something like
Or-
deep inside of you.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. When women are on their periods, all right, and we're gonna be serious here. Sometimes when we pee, maybe a lump of blood will come out.
A little clot. Yeah.
Because if you guys don't know, when we have our periods, we're basically shedding like meat from our walls
Yeah.
and also shedding an egg. So sometimes we have those clumps that come out. All right.
Sounds
When
sexy
we
when you
take a
explain
shit,
it.
it's the same damn thing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Like when you're pushing something out, some stuff will come out. So it's a bloody dump. Like, yeah.
Moral of the story is, don't trust nothing that bleeds for 7 days and doesn't die.
Bitch.
hey, hey, but for real, what I will say is that when I take a dump, I hate it. Like when it's a solo bathroom, it's like the worst time to take a dump because if somebody's waiting on me on the other side, it makes me feel really awkward. So I'm like, dang, it's gonna stink in here. So usually like I try to keep the same type of courtesy. So when I know somebody's like taking a dump,
up all this stuff.
when I know somebody's taking a dump in a little solo bathroom,
Them big nostrils are good for something.
yeah, I act like nonchalant, like they weren't just taking a dump. Not make eye contact. Like, yeah, man, you were just letting it loose in there. Try to completely avoid it. Like, it wasn't
Dude, everyone
you.
dumps, dude. It's not a big deal.
they're
The
putting
big
I
out
know.
deal
dirt.
is like-
I'm shy.
The big deal about like that is like you don't wait on someone to finish dumping. You just go home with your day.
Yo,
and go do
if
something
I'm on
else.
a road trip, and I really got to take a pee, and
I'll
and
piss in the
I go
parking
to
lot.
open the door
Dude,
and
honestly-
it's locked, and I knock, and somebody's like, hey, I'm in here. I'm gonna wait because I'm like next in line, and I really got to pee. Because typically, what I like to do is when I'm driving down the road and I'm passing everybody up because they going slow like Russell, doing
Yes.
65 in the left hand lane and 70.
Bitch.
I get into that Chevron and I knock on the door and somebody's taking a dump. I'm gonna stand in line, but I won't make eye contact. I'm gonna act like I'm looking at the chips.
You know what you can do?
Honestly,
you know what
though,
You
you can
should
do?
make eye
Like,
contact. You
bring
don't know,
your own
you don't know what that guy's
spray.
intent is.
Bring your
Maybe
own
he's-
spray.
No, it's the point of just like I feel awkward when people know I take a dump because I hate the fact that there's a
Well,
link.
first of all,
okay, well,
no
I'll get
matter
your
what
spray.
kind
The
of road
lingering-
trip I'm on, I'm not taking
That's a
a
good
dump
idea.
in a public
Now that I
place.
think about it, I'm understanding what you're saying.
Get
A
your
spray. But then that means that I gotta carry spray in my car. And somebody's gonna be like, hey, what's this poopery right here? I'm like, I'm
not
really
gonna
shy,
lie,
man.
In our woman's bathroom at work, we have like 2 bottles of poopery spray, like right there on the countertop. So
Yeah, because
we
girls
will
be
not know.
dumping. In case
I'm
you
be honest
guys-
with you guys.
In
Like,
case you didn't know, girls do poop and pee.
I don't know what
Our
kind of
listeners,
people
girls
live in
do
Virginia.
poop and pee.
Honestly, I don't know what kind of like how tall people are in Virginia or something like that. But we was on our way to New York a couple weeks ago, and it's a long ass drive from St. Petersburg, Florida, all the way to New York. At some point, I have to take a doo doo,
I would have held it in the
and
entire time.
and then at some point, we're going to stop at a freaking rest stop. And at that point, in that moment of my life, I'm gonna walk in there. I'm taking doo doo, pop a old squatteroo. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely
And so-
not.
And so here's the thing. I walk in there. I'm 6'2".
I'd rather shit my pants.
I'm a tall guy. I should be able to fit on
He's
any
5'2", don't
toilet
lie.
that there is made out there for a grown man. So I walk into this shitter box that's over there in this rest stop. I sit on this toilet. This toilet is so high, so tall that my legs were dangling.
Damn.
Oh, I just see kids.
And I'm sitting there
kicking his feet
I'm
like he's
sitting
sitting
there
on Santa's
like-
lap.
like-
on a booster
like,
seat.
dude,
This
that,
man
like,
made full contact with everything about that toilet.
dude, there's no way around it, dude. Like I'm sitting there,
Santa, what I want for Christmas.
dude. Oh my
Oh,
god.
man.
Like I'm sitting there, like my sphincter's all like kinked a little bit. You know what I mean? Because I've got like this like kind of like weird situation I'm going on here, so I can't get that full like squat action going on to where like
You
get a
couldn't
good
even
old
hover.
night, like good old movement. You know what I mean? I can't get that solid movement
Oh,
going
man.
That
on.
boy had a bib on and everything.
Oh,
boy.
bro, like dude, I was sitting there getting like
shit.
spaghetti on my face,
With
you know,
the
sitting in
little
the high
rubber
chair.
spoon.
Oh my god.
Oh, hey,
man.
since we're talking about poop stories, my most awkward poop story has to be when I was like 8 years old. So my parents were divorced, and so this is like the awkwardest
My
connection.
parents were divorced.
So my mom married, to what used to be my stepdad. His
I'm gonna be honest with you.
ex-wife, his
You get
ex-wife, hold
one
on.
step parent, and after that, it's just somebody's wife or
So
husband.
his ex-wife was literally the backyards were attached. There was a chain link fence that you could open up. There was a door, and I could go into their backyard. So our houses are really close, and I really had a poop, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna shit behind this bush in their yard, because I just didn't want to go inside. So I literally take a dump in my stepbrother's backyard, and wipe my butthole with some leaves. And then he's like, Mikey took a dump back here. Mikey took a dump back here. I'm like, yo, why are you telling everybody? And then they literally made me come back and pick it up with some toilet paper and flush it down the toilet. It was like the most embarrassing thing I ever had to do. But luckily it was solid, so it held
Like
together.
a damn dog. Look at it.
Look at it, yeah. Just put my nose in
I
it.
was saying, why
basically.
didn't rub your nose in it while you were there, man.
Look at
Most
it.
awkward dumb story of my life.
I don't know
I mean,
what
I
it is.
deserved it.
man.
I don't know why.
Hey,
I did
hey,
it.
guys.
I don't know what it is
guys,
about going
serious.
to Lowe's, but like every time I walk into Lowe's or Home Depot, it hits me.
Hey, since we're on, hey,
And
hey,
like a place I will shit every time I walk in there is a Lowe's or a Home
hey
Depot.
guys, like so, this is a serious note right here. All right, because we all have done it. We're not proud of it, but we have took dumps in public places. Yes,
sir.
Actually,
Actually, you just told us a public dumping story.
Yes, you did. But tell me, how many times
My mom's home.
has your penis?
Touch the water?
Dang
I don't
it.
have
No,
those
while you're
problems.
sitting down?
No, I don't have those problems.
No, dude. I have. I have a very average cock. That has never happened to me. I would like to see how that is possible.
And my nuts will dip before my cock does. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man.
You know what,
Nah,
guys?
dude, my penis
Toodles
touched
to
the
you.
water when I was pooping
All right,
once.
but no, has touched the rim.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah, dude, I feel like
When you
instantly
sit down,
contracted
and you're
HIV.
like, ew, like what do I do? Like you don't even know what to do. You just gotta do.
Put acid on it.
And like you don't know what to do. And like, do we wash it in the sink? Do you,
Yeah.
What do you do? Is it too
Hey,
late
man.
now?
I bare-assed every toilet seat my whole life.
That
And
is
look at you,
disgusting,
bro. You're
Russell.
bald head. You
No,
ain't got no
my mom.
hair.
Oh no. What was funny though? Was I
Look,
was
that's
at
the
a-
reason why COVID doesn't affect me like it affects other
Yeah,
people. You know what I'm
so
saying?
literally, my
I got a
mom has
better
taught me
immune
right.
system rolling through here, babe.
This was just the perks of growing up with nothing but women. Like I have a ton of sisters. I have brothers too.
What do you mean?
But I grew up with a lot of women. And so, you know, when you're younger, your parents bring you to the bathroom. And so my mom would literally put down like 3 layers of toilet
Michael's
paper.
mom wiped his ass till he
Before-
was 12.
Yeah, and she tied my shoes. And she would put
Mom,
down-
I'm done. Come in here.
Literally, I would watch her put like 3 layers of toilet paper down and sit. And that stuck. Because I'm like, you know what? That makes sense. I pee on the toilet seat sometimes. Sorry about that. My mom came in. We had a little hug session, and she was telling us about my baby sister's game that she had. She was
yeah,
scary.
word to your mother.
Ugh,
Yep.
I forget what we were actually talking about last. I think it was something about
But so well, now we're on the topic of moms.
moms.
And so, like, I had a really kind of fucked up
Oh,
experience.
dude, it pissed me off. Tell them about it.
Like, dude, honestly, I had this, like, really fucked up experience with my mom. When
Recently?
yeah, right when I got back from New York.
Florida.
So, like, the thing is, like, whenever I got back, you know, my grandpa was like, hey, you know, take your mom out, get some food or whatever. You know, that's fine. No big deal. You know, I'll go out, spend a little bit of money, take her out to dinner. No big deal. I ain't seen her in a while. And so we go out, me and my brother, we go get us some food at this little restaurant, pay for it. I spent a little bit of money in this restaurant. You know, I didn't mind. You know, I didn't really think we was going to do much.
300.
Not at the restaurant. But anyway, but I did spend over $100 at the restaurant. You know, paying for 3 people and, you know, extra appetizers and all this other stuff. So, but she was like, "Hey, I want you to go. Let's go over here to this bar. I got a bunch of friends over there, and I want you to meet all these these people." I'm like, "Yeah, that's fine." Me and Taylor agreed. I was like, "Let's go do it. No big deal. We'll get a drink or so." And so next thing you know, we go over there, and these people that she know are just people that work at the bar because she's in that kind of service industry and all this other stuff. So we're sitting there, having a good time. Like, I get us a few drinks, get a couple rounds. Not that big of a deal. Taylor's going to pay me, and I don't mind buying my mom something. And so then we start drinking a little bit more. We start playing some more darts, and meeting these couple odd men people. Next thing you know, every time I turn around, there's another drink. I'm like, nobody asked me for permission to get this drink. Like, what
Just
the fuck?
running the bill up.
Yeah,
Like,
just
I
run.
understand 2 drinks.
Yeah, I understand a couple drinks, that's fine. But after that, you're kind of on your own, like, and so every time I turn around, every
College student on a budget.
yeah, exactly. So every time I turn around, next thing you know, I've got like 3 more drinks, one for me, one for her, and one for my brother. And I'm like, all right, it is what it is. I'm on vacation. I can spend a little bit of money. Not that big of a deal, But they just keep coming. I just keep getting drunker and just quit caring, And so the next thing you know, she was like, "Hey, let's go to this other bar." It's where another my other friends over there buy all this other stuff. My brother's like, "Man, fuck this shit. I'm going home," and which I should have listened to him and done the same thing. But the thing is, but Taylor's not the type of guy that likes to go out and do things. He likes just shut it down and be like, "All right, I'm going home." So he walked back home. So me and my mom, we hitch a ride with these people and we go to this next bar. And I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty drunk or whatever. And so I get us a round over at this bar. Fine. I made the decision. I bought a round. But then next thing you know, I'm getting really drunk. And then every time I turn around again, there is more drinks being poured, and then also on top of that, her friend is getting drinks.
Oh, that's petty.
And like her friend is having drinks, I'm just like, now there's somebody else, some no tooth lady I don't fucking know, just sitting there getting drinks, getting this, getting that. I'm like, what the fuck? But I was so like, this is the most drunk I've been in a long time. I don't ever get drunk anymore. I get a little buzz and I call it, But I'm like pretty shithoused.
Yeah.
And so things are kind of going in one ear out the other. I all know is there's a drink. I really don't know how to like assess the situation.
It's so weird that she's not even asking you for permission.
Yeah, well,
or
that's
just,
the
like,
thing,
anything.
and that was the problem, And so eventually we ended up leaving or whatever, and then like it kind of hits me, I paid a couple bills, and it's like, dude, I'm spending a fuck ton of money, like more money than I've ever spent, ever, at a bar or anything like that. So it come out like that whole night, I spent like well over $300 something.
That's fucked up, dude.
Like $100 so for the food, fair, not that big of a deal. But then, like, to have, like, $150 or $170, like, total tab, almost $200 total tab at these bars, like, no.
Does she not know you're a whole college student? Like, you're just going through this
Well, that's
shit
the
and,
thing. And so, like, the next so we finally get back after we go, do one more thing. We stop at her place or whatever because she wants, like, me to, like, wants to give me something. It's some kind of family heirloom thing. And so, So eventually we finally get home. It's like 4 a.m. or whatever, and I go to sleep. Wake up in the morning, my grandpa's like, hey, here's some money, y'all go get some breakfast. I was like, all right, sweet, so we do. But now that I've like sobered up, I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Like, what just happened? Like, why did this happen? And so me and my brother are sitting there, chilling. We're waiting on our pancakes, whatever it was we got.
Pancakes.
And my mom's just like, hey, you okay? And I'm like, no, I'm not actually. I'm actually pretty pissed off.
I'm your child, and I literally just spent like $400.
Yeah, well,
on
I
you.
was like, look, dude. I was like, first of all, it's not so much. I don't have a problem buying you drinks.
Yeah.
But the problem is like I gave you an inch and you took a mile.
Yeah.
It's like next thing you know, I'm sitting here like every time I turned around, there was more drinks being poured and nobody like asked my permission. This is all on my dime.
It's more of a respect thing.
Right, and I was like, do you? I told her, I was like, do you just not respect me? Do you not feel like that?
And let's give a little background. Like, you don't hang out with your mom often, right?
Yeah.
Well, no, I've only seen her a
So
few times in the past like 20
if you
years.
don't hang out with your mom, I mean, at least with my mom, she basically asked to give me money, or she wants to treat me to things, or if we go out to eat, she wants to buy my dinner.
But
it's
then,
not,
Michael,
it's
we
not
have
the
to think
reversed
about
role.
like it seems like your family dynamic is very strong. You know what I mean? You have a very strong family, loving, caring family. And some of us here don't really have that background, and it's kind of like a different type of environment with our parents' relationship.
But either way, like
I mean, I get what Ashley's saying,
and I was telling her,
100%, but it's to the point to where it's a mother-son relationship is to the point to where it's, you're not using your son to enable your drinking.
Yeah, I get
yeah,
that. I get that.
I'm not. I don't think she's a drunk or anything like that. I don't.
No, of course not.
But
Or to have a good time.
but-
like, they're usually, hey, let me treat my son to a good time. Not
Right,
let him treat me to a good time even though he's a college student.
right,
Also,
and
you
I
have
was
to think
telling
about
her, I
my
was like,
kids.
look, I was like, it just really made me feel like you just used me, and that's all it was, just so
Yeah.
you could do
Right.
this, do that.
100%.
And I was like, look, and I was like, I'm broke as you are, or broker. You know what I mean? I'm a college
Yeah.
student. I do this, do that. I was like, and it's really shitty. I really don't appreciate you doing that, and that was like really fucked up. And I don't know. And she was just like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
I think this
It
all
pissed me
comes
off.
down to the psychology mindset of a mom, and like the things that she's going through, and also what you had to go through with her. Like, where is that line drawn at? You know what I mean?
Right, and like I said, she ended up paying me back, which is fine,
Yeah.
but it's still the principle of it.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? It's just like the fact that, hey, you felt like, I don't care how, this was before we got drunk. You
And
know
it's
what I mean?
something that you brought up.
Yeah.
Like, that's what even makes it even more concerning is the fact to where it's like, oh, she didn't want to pay you back based off of her, like, saying, hey, I kind of ran up your bill a little bit last night. No, she asked what was wrong with you, and you're like, well, you know what? I spent basically $200 last night on me, you, and your friends. that's kind of messed up.
Like, did she feel that type of regret later?
Yeah.
I'm sure she did.
Yeah,
like,
because,
she
like-
was really like, I could tell she was like really upset and like, felt bad
Yeah.
and all this other stuff.
After
So
you made a point about it.
yeah, and that's
Yeah.
the thing.
Because like us as guys, like if we went to the bar, I might say I'm gonna get the first round, and Fisher might get the second.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Michael might
I've
get the
never
next.
spent more than
And
like
then Russell's not gonna get
$65.
$1 because Russell has a drink.
He
Yeah, I'm
doesn't
gonna
drink.
get Russell some
I've done
Boss
that
on
with my
rocks,
friends.
you know what I'm
So
saying?
yeah, I've done that with my friends. One person buys one shot, one round, and the next person buys the next
Yeah,
shot, the next
Common
round.
courtesy.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
common
and we'll
courtesy.
do that. Like, and if there's some dynamic where like, say me and Cinder bought shots and Michael didn't. Well, next time we went to the bar, Michael's probably gonna buy a shot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, or something in that category. We're not gonna stress it because it's $10.
It's
It's
just
not.
something
Yeah.
that's kind of like
At,
built into your head.
at the end of the night, it's $10. It's not.
But you have to think
It's
about
not
it though.
$150.
For Spencer, it wasn't just like $10. That was like 3 people drinking on one tab.
4, right?
Well, see, I knew Taylor was gonna pay back, so I didn't care if I was buying
Yeah.
Taylor stuff. It's not that big of a deal. I was like, you can run my card. Taylor's gonna give me cash for it. Not a big deal. But Taylor also wasn't asking for more and more.
Yeah, he wasn't the one ordering them.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
was just like every time I turned around, there was another set of 3 shots or 3 drinks, shots plus drinks, like this, like just a
Yeah.
plethora of shit. I was like, what the fuck?
I'm
Well,
not
Spencer,
gonna
I like
lie,
to say
I
you
would
never
feel
get fucked
bad.
up with me, and I'm disappointed that you never do.
Well, here's the
You're over
thing.
here spending $300 at the bar. You never get fucked up with me.
Well, yeah, because see, at that
You know
moment,
what?
in those moments, I'm in charge of my own finances and in charge of what's
Yeah.
going on. But the thing is, I can't be like, hey, can you pour this
Yeah,
drink
and you'd
out?
rather be like,
Yeah,
oh
and
man, I'm not
typically-
that drunk, and you were at the house, like, man, just
Spencer
like,
gets
I'm like
heartburn
spinning.
before he ever gets there, you know?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say technically for me, if somebody else is footing the bill for me or something like that, I always
You're
have
gonna
that
be
mindset.
frugal. You're gonna be
Yes.
respectful.
Of
You don't
course,
want to.
I will always ask, "Hey, is it okay for me to add this to the bill?"
And that's the thing.
I
If
can
she would
cash
ask
app
me
you.
and was like, "Hey, can I get it?" That's the thing that pissed me off. It's like you didn't ask.
Or it's just
It's
like
the
if you go out to
common
like,
courtesy of it
it's
all.
like it's just like if you go out to dinner with like another person, like or your parents or something like that. Like
Yeah.
they're gonna pay for the bill. You're not gonna order really what you want. You're gonna order something, a downgrade from
Yeah,
what you
right.
want.
It's like, oh man, there's this 12-ounce
That's
steak
what you
here
do.
for $32. No, I'm probably gonna get a burger.
Exactly.
You know, it's,
Yeah,
I'm not the
yeah.
one buying. Like, and I don't care how drunk I get. Like, I'm still me. Like, I'm like, oh, I'm feeling loose. I'm feeling a little bit intoxicated, a little bit, dizzy. I'm still present. Like, I
Yeah.
know that I'm not on my bill. I'm not gonna run up somebody else's bill. Like, I'm not gonna be.
No,
the
absolutely
person.
not. And then if I do, like,
That's a character.
and if I do because like I do get drunk and I'm like, hey, let me pay for that,
Yeah.
and I will
I
like,
think you become more generous as you get drunk.
Of course.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll tell you one thing that was kind of weird. I don't really mean to be like spilling all this like.
Yeah, no,
bean-
we talked about it at
bean
work today.
shit.
No, you're okay.
And
You're
you're like,
okay.
no, it's too deep, man.
But the thing is like one thing that was just a really weird thing about it.
It's called a trauma dump. Go ahead.
Well, the one thing that was really weird about it is like, okay, all these people that were supposedly her friends, right?
Yeah.
They were like, how come I've never seen you around here before? It's like, because I don't fucking live here. How do you not know that?
like 400 miles away.
Well, it's like, to me, it's just like, what is she telling these people? You get what I'm saying? Is there
Yeah,
this
yeah,
thing
yeah.
like, that's like, they know that I'm her son and my brother's her son.
Mm-hmm.
However, they don't know that I don't live here. It's like, I'm 26 years old and you've never met me before. Like, that's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm gonna say this. As a woman, also I don't have kids, but when I think about and I
Yet.
see other women with kids, you know what I mean? I always wonder with situations like this, like what did you go through in life that you couldn't just presently be there for your kid? Like just be that person to not have them grow up how you grew up or have those problems like you had those problems. Why wouldn't you want to be there to teach them something different?
well, that's why I lived with my grandparents, is that
Yeah.
way I couldn't, that way I would have something that she didn't have. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's great and everything like that.
And props to your grandparents. They took that
dude,
responsibility.
Spencer's grandparents are awesome.
They are awesome. I love your grandparents. They're very nice.
Yeah.
They're good.
But like I said, it just none of that's really got much to do with like you don't run up somebody's fucking bill, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I was like, God damn it, Mom. Like, shit. But,
It's just,
I mean, everything's fine now, so don't,
it
like,
pissed me off.
so don't take this as me, like, just sitting here bitching just to bitch
No,
and,
no,
like, hate
no.
my mom.
I'm just
No,
genuinely.
Well, I'm not necessarily saying that for you per se
Yeah,
or
yeah.
anybody in this
the
room,
audience,
but
the
more
audience.
for the
I
audience.
think the audience is completely on your side.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Well, I'm just saying is like I'm not sitting here trying to like put my shit out there, and not like y'all know me anyway,
No.
but or who my mom
No,
is
this
for that
is
matter.
Yeah.
for general. Like even if
Yeah.
it wasn't even your mom, and it's the
That's
fact
what I'm
that
saying
somebody
is like
being on
just
your
in a
bill.
general sense, like if it was your buddy, somebody you don't know, your parents, anybody.
Yes,
It's like
this is what we
Like
call
Spencer, I would feel bad
slimy.
if I got drunk off my ass and like on your tab, and like the next day, I was like, "It's cool, bro." You know what
I mean, like if I wake up like me,
Like,
let's say
I'd like-
I didn't have my card, Barry, and Spencer was the one buying, and I wake up in the morning, I'm like, yo, we drank so much last night. I got such a bad hangover. I was like, dude, how much was the bill? Like, I would be curious just how much the bill.
Oh
was
no!
because
And
of
Spencer's
how
like,
intoxicated I am.
he's like, well, I cashed out last night like $210.
I'd be like, okay,
minus
man.
the tip. And I'm like, oh fuck, Spencer, let me
Let me
like-
Venmo you, dude.
Of
Yeah, I
course.
would immediately be like, dude, like my bad, dude. Like I appreciate you. Let me put that money back in your pocket.
Yeah, like instantly, right away. I wouldn't have to bring it up, like, or you wouldn't have to bring it up to me. Like that would just be.
But we're all like in like a different like clique. Like I mean I've noticed it, and we've all noticed it. Like, dude, we'll go out to eat and like I'll cover your shit, vice versa. You know what I mean? We do that shit all the time because we're we're nice to
Sharing
each
is
other.
caring.
And like hell, like like hell, me and old Russell went out to eat the other night, and I was like I paid for his shit because he drove. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, actually, I told him I'd pay for his Waffle House if he sung a certain song, and we sang that song on karaoke.
Yeah, I did the I'm
Oh,
Blue
wait.
song. I'm blue, dabba dee dabba. Then it's getting
Oh my
crunk.
god, that shit went off. Too. I was like, dude, I will buy your food if you sing this song with me. And we fucking sang the fuck out of it.
That's about the most redneck thing
It's
you
like,
do. It's like, I'll buy you some
listen
fucking
up.
Waffle House. You murder that karaoke.
Oh, Theo Vaughn.
If you raise hell, praise Dale, I'll fucking you'll get some good fucking hash browns later.
Oh, I got a triple order on that bitch too. Triple order hash browns. Speaking
Oh,
of,
man.
minimizing the bills.
Yeah, triple hash brown.
Triple order. Well, to be fair, it is Waffle
Chili,
House.
cheese.
Hey, your brother brought up a good point about Waffle House. He says, I never get the same bill for the same meal at Waffle House. Every time I go to the bitch, you just get like a all-star special. It'd be like $7.84, $8.24, $10, $7.24. Again, I'm like, where are they getting these calculations from, man? It'd be the same Waffle House in the same area.
Bro, I crack out my calculator. I'm like, hey, this don't add up.
It's on that, but you added this, and this.
Yeah.
So I always add like there's also like if I order All Star, I'm getting cheese on my hash brown, cheese on my eggs, and I'm getting jalapenos on my hash browns. So I know that adds up a little
Oh,
bit.
Y'all have to
Spencer's
think about
hash
that,
browns is a
though.
whole formula.
Dude, Spencer's hash
Oh
browns
my
look
God.
disgusting. It makes me want to throw up.
Bro, he's like, hey, can I get pickles, lettuce, cucumbers, cheese, chili, a little
That
bit
chili,
of a dog,
dude, Spencer is about
unicorn horn?
A little bit of that
Oh,
shit
man.
you could scrape off the side of the grill. Just
Yeah. Put it all up in it.
dude.
He just mix it up.
Spencer Spencer crushes chili, and it's gross to me watching him eat Waffle House
that
chili.
man get chili anywhere that
Yeah.
offers it.
He'll eat chili, and he'll just be dangling his little feet, just prancing like a happy little kid. I'm like, ugh. Because I just know he's going to be just shitting
Dude,
fire
Dried up
later.
Dorito on the
Dude,
shirt.
gas stations.
Not everybody has the
fucking-
weak stomach like you,
Dude,
bro.
if McDonald's
Like
offered
water
a
goes straight
cheeseburger, like
through
a
you,
chili
like it's
cheeseburger,
fucking-
he would get it.
All
Like
right,
this man
Spence,
gets chili anywhere.
if
Gas
you like
stations
chili
doesn't matter.
cheeseburgers, bro, you need to go to Edge Drive-In in Pascagoula.
Ed's Drive-In?
They
Ed
have-
Drive-In is mediocre, Ashley.
How dare you, sir? I am a Mississippian, and that is something that we are proud of. That Edge Drive-In and
Dude,
Pascagoula.
Edge Drive-In is like the knockoff
delicious.
Sam's
Hey,
Superburger.
Sam's Superburger
Hell
has got
no.
a really good chili cheeseburger.
Sam's Superburger came after Ed's, and you want to know how
But you
old
know what?
Ed's is? Ed still has their black only's window.
You know what's funny? I don't even know it is.
So does Lottaburger.
What? Really?
I think so.
Whataburger?
Yeah, it's in Hurley. And what it is
Oh.
a
Mississippi.
what? Yeah, well, yeah, it's Mississippi, obviously. But no, what it is, I think it's the brother of like Sam's Superburger or whatever. He did his own thing. Like the Mississippi version is a Lottaburger. And yeah, like think they used to. I don't remember, but like, dude, I've seen those like blacks only windows in some of those
It's
old
so
places.
I've never
like
seen that.
Hold on, what'd you say?
I've never seen that at Ed's.
No, okay, so my
Are
grandma.
you sure that it's like a
No,
thing
no,
at
no.
Ed's?
My grandma remembers that window, and when we go to Ed's, sometimes she'll tell me the story about how the window over there on the side towards the back is where they used to have to go to make their orders.
Yeah.
Damn.
Mama-
So, but it's boarded up. It's boarded up. They don't use it anymore. I will say that. But it's still there. We still see the bitch.
Yeah, Mama
Like,
was telling me about her first job, and she worked at some restaurant, and obviously it was during that time.
Oh God.
And like she was like, yeah, like the restaurants and everything, you know, having to serve, you know, the black folk out, you know, in the either at a blacks only window or out in the back or something like that. She's like, yeah, it was a wild thing back then.
that's so
What was so crazy?
I
Was
couldn't
just,
imagine that, dude.
yeah,
That's
but
like,
it's
like
well, it was
something
the
we don't,
norm
like-
for then, which is, you know,
I
It's a sad
mean,
time,
that is something like you don't think about these days. But that was a
No.
that
that wasn't long ago.
Well, let me
It
let you
wasn't.
know, interracial marriage didn't get approved in Alabama until like 1990, like
2003.
2003.
Dude,
And we got a beautiful
2003.
interracial couple right
You be
here. Russell and
goddamn.
Ashley.
Yeah. Hello to us.
Oh, beautiful.
It's not that big of a deal, babe. It's not political that we're talking about interracial things.
Yeah.
But
not.
at the same-
Russell's putting on a pause sign like this ain't the topic to talk about.
It's not political to talk
No,
about.
it's not.
It's not. We're not
interracial
being
things.
political about it. We're not.
We're not
We're not.
being-
We're not
we're just
giving. No one's
having
giving
a
their
normal
political
discussion.
view.
He's putting a pause button and he's like, cut it.
no,
Especially in Alabama.
Don't
Southern
make
Are we
that
gonna
sound.
talk
that.
about stereotypes? How about how the time that we went to Panera Bread and we ate, and this older white couple literally turned their chair around and watched us eat the whole time we sat there and ate because
Just
they were
watched
Y'all
it.
should have
disturbed.
made out in front of him.
Oh yeah.
And he's over there just looking.
You should have
shaking his
tickled that
head.
starfish, Russell.
Yeah. he was
Chocolate star.
he was like staring at me, shaking his head, and his little dentures falling. I was,
You got a
Uh,
problem with my beautiful black African American wife
Yeah,
here?
he's like,
Uh-huh.
That's just wrong.
Should have got you a handful of that ass, but you know what you're missing, son.
Smack
yeah,
it.
it'd be funny though. It's
Oh
like,
yeah, dude, that's what I would have done.
it's like, all
Big
right, old
old
man.
handful.
I would have been extra sexual.
Yeah, man.
I would have damn near been fucking half chosen.
They're over there, like.
If she jumped right now, you know how Earth would just get off tilt.
No. But what's funny about that is like they neglected their own meal. They
Yeah,
let that
yeah.
shit get cold and just like look.
My thing is like, oh man,
I mean,
they
you're-
don't make a walker for all this ass. You know what I'm saying? you ain't gonna be able to get it, old man. He'll bust
Dick
your
ain't long
damn
enough to
ear.
get between these cheeks. Know what I'm saying?
Well, let's just make an instance. There was an older white man that was trying to bust my cheeks last week at Alchemy. Let's just.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was just
Tell
a
us about it,
little
Ashley.
weasel. Fucking weasel.
He literally came out of nowhere. He just got done with karaoke. He comes standing by me, and you know he's looking at me and laughing and joking, and we're talking about the guy that's karaoke. And he looks at me, he's like, "Well, you ain't gonna sing karaoke?" And I was like, "No, sir, I can't do that. I don't like singing in front of people." He was like, "A beautiful girl like you look like you got a beautiful voice." I was like, "Sir, I'll leave that to my husband." He just looks over, "Oh, really? That's your husband?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, okay." Literally still stands by me for another 30 minutes talking to me and just random shit. And Russell's looking at me like, "Who is this guy?" And I'm like, "I have no idea. He's an old guy. I'm trying to be nice. I don't want to be an
know, right?
asshole. Like, I just don't want to be mean."
Because we're dealing with situations like that, you don't want to be the guy that looks like an overprotective asshole. Like, as soon as the guy speaks to your wife, "What are you doing?" You don't want to be that guy.
Sure.
Yeah, but at the same
You
time,
little insecure
when
punk.
you know he's up to it, and you're like, I just need hard evidence. It's like when you pull somebody over, reasonable suspicion. It's like, look, I seen smoke rolling out of his windows, but I don't smell it anymore. You know, something like that. You have to know, right? But it's like, I know what you're doing, but it's not so evident right now that I would not come
Well,
off as
he's
an
not making.
asshole.
Well, at the same time, he wasn't making like legit like advances, like
Yeah.
you know, and just like saying like, you know, inappropriate things. Now, of course,
Yeah,
you
he
know,
went
once you got to
girl
that
like
point-
he went like, "Hey girl, let me see them titty nipples.
Little titty nipples.
Yeah.
Thank goodness for
Let me piss in that butt."
Thank goodness for that, though. I probably would have been really disturbed if he would have been like, "Hey, girl, let me see them titties." Like, that would have been so
Pulling out my to lick one of them hoes.
I tell you what, Hershey Kisses were my favorite in my Halloween bag.
Can we also think about the people that work in nursing homes with like super old men that are like literally about to die, and they just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go. To this
Oh, we
girl
talked
and be
about that on another podcast.
Yeah, they just grab.
Oh no. If I was on my deathbed, I'd be like, hey, what up, baby?
Oh, I got a cramp in my thigh. Can
Be
you
like,
rub it?
Yeah.
it'd be like, hey, bitch, you ever heard of an inheritance?
Yeah.
God,
Like,
imagine y'all
well,
as old men.
Why don't you come over to
Jeez.
someone's lap? Let me
I would
tell
be
you
a
about
very
it.
respectable old man. I put my dentures in with Polydent,
Yeah.
and everything.
I'd be like, you know, I've been eating these Cialis like M&Ms, and I must say, they ain't working.
Can
So
we
it-
just say Russell's already an old man by himself? Like, he just makes.
Does he
all
use
these-
Cialis?
He makes old man noises like.
Yeah, he's been losing his hair since 8th grade.
Bitch.
Oh man, that dude has already met his peak. Old Russell done met his peak, and he's trickling down. Age 26, trickling
No,
down.
he's a handsome baldy.
Oh, man.
Very handsome. He's my
He
lady.
got
But
a
he's on the-
full beard.
Regardless of what you say, he's on the downfall. Hey, I'm in the same boat, man. I'm fading out, man. I gotta wear a hat in public.
Barry
Guys,
just don't
I'm
wanna
gonna just
give
let
it up
y'all
yet.
know this. Don't think because you're bald that it's a problem. Because honestly, when I was younger,
The
I
only-
never thought I would be with a bald guy. I never thought. But looking at Russell, I'm like, God damn, boy, I ride that fucking head. I would.
yeah.
Oh,
I
fuck
ride
yeah.
that head all
absolutely
day.
not.
I
You know
ride
what I
that
mean?
cue ball, son.
Hell yeah.
Well, so here's the thing. The only time it becomes a problem is guys that can't just let it go.
Yeah. It's like you're either bald or you look like that guy slowly dying in a cave. Which one is it?
It's like when you got that freaking toilet bowl running up top. You know what I mean? I know it's a good place to sit and all that, but I'm just saying, it's like you got to let it go.
Bozo the clown, they call
Oh,
it.
you don't think I should let it go?
No, I'm not talking about
No,
you, Barry.
honestly, I think
Barry, I think you're at a good place right now, bro.
I mean,
you're
I
at
really,
a good place. You're good.
I like Barry's hair.
Well,
but
see,
Yeah.
Barry's
Barry would
hair
also
isn't
be
receding though.
No.
just as handsome with the
no,
bald
no.
head.
Now,
No,
Barry's
I'm
got
going bald
Y'all got
in
a
the
good
back.
shaped head.
You could just dye that shit for
Like
Honestly,
Russell was
honestly.
super handsome when he had hair, and
Oh,
but
God.
he literally rocks the bald head, and I feel like Barry is the same way. 'cause
Russell's
y'all-
like the Rock.
the
He looks
only
better
reason
bald.
why I say that though is because y'all have the beard, so somehow y'all got lucky with the fact that y'all got just no hair on your head.
Can we just say that some guys are
Yeah,
hat
but I get
fish you or beard fish you? Because like the beard, you're like a totally different person. When Russell shaves his beard, he looks like back in high school.
I shaved my
Yeah,
beard
but
the other
Russell
day.
can rock a no beard because he has an impeccable jawline.
Yeah, he really does.
He's got a good
He
jawline.
got like he could cut you with that jawline.
Look
He
at Russell
really
there
could.
cheesing.
Yeah,
man.
look at him cheesing.
Oh, Rusty
Yeah.
got the cheese on,
Hey,
He's
man.
so handsome,
Motherfucker been
man.
eating-
Look at you.
Look like a
Is
bag
you-
of mozzarella,
'cause this is
man.
usually
Full of
shit on
cheese.
Russell.
I will
podcast.
I will say this. There was an instance where we made a prank in the mall one time, and this lady was like,
Stop
"Are you
hyping this
guys
man
in
up."
love?" And Russell blushed so fucking hard, like his
He's like,
face. I
We
thought
are.
that was the cutest thing I've ever seen.
Boo. Dude. So fuck, dude. So I was like, yeah, it's surprising because usually shit on Rusty podcast, but Spencer has a gripes about noises I make. Though that's what I want to talk about. He will get literally angry at me and be like, I'm starting you making fucking noises. You make so many noises. What noises do I make? I want to hear this because
Dude, the man is nothing but like a walking fucking Beavis and Butthead fucking
Literally,
episode.
we can literally be sitting in the bed, and I can hear Russell breathing. Right, all of a sudden I hear him stop breathing. I'm like, what the fuck? And I turn, and he's like holding his breath while he's in the middle of doing something. I'm like, bro, breathe. And he's like,
Dude, honestly,
Hold on,
speaking of that,
Spence, hold on. Speaking of breathing, so Spence comes over after work, and me and him are just chilling and whatnot, and I'm watching Boruto. You know,
love it.
yeah. Barry got me back into it. I was like, I'm getting up to a good part. Well, all of a sudden, like, Spencer's watching Joe Scott or whatever,
yeah.
and he's telling me how much he likes him, and literally 30 seconds later, I hear,
Dude,
And I'm
Spencer
like-
be
and I'm like
snoring
looking at
loud as
Spencer.
fuck.
and I'm like, he was just talking to me not even a minute ago. And this
People
dude
that fall
fell
asleep like that is crazy.
instantly snoring.
So crazy.
I have so many videos of Spencer snoring, like drastically obnoxious. And
You know what's crazy is like I've only
Dude, this
developed the
motherfucker's-
snoring thing until like maybe like 3 or 4 years ago.
Dude, this
Lies.
dude, he snores so fucking loud.
dude,
That
it is-
motherfucker
It's
will
like
come into my house
grandparents.
and just fucking snore the entire time I'm trying to sleep. Like, they just piss me the fuck off. And
It's
like, I'll
gonna
wake
get
him up like,
worse.
hey man, you're fucking snoring. He'll be like, oh, okay.
it'll stop for like a minute.
And then I'm like, dude, I'm like, and then he'll go right back to like, hey man, you're fucking snoring. Like, roll the fuck over or something. Like,
Dude.
move your body. He'll be like,
Dude.
like, not even fucking move.
Dude, that's when you just give him like a John Jones elbow to
Dude.
the rib. Just
Dude,
the fuck
90%
outta
of the
here.
time, like Spencer says at night, I'm just like pushing him in like in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Like, I get the worst night's sleep when I'm fucking cuddled up next to Spencer, man. It's fucking the worst.
It's like my grandparents. I can hear my grandparents snoring in like the other room.
Dude, honestly,
like, Jesus.
Like so kind of going back to we had this conversation a few podcasts ago about breathing, right? And like being aware that you're breathing and how it
Yeah.
becomes you know,
a conscious
like a conscious like effort, you know, when you're trying to sleep.
Yeah,
but,
we're
like-
all thinking about it now. We're all like forcing ourselves to breathe.
Yeah, we're all like
Yeah,
aware that
yeah.
we're breathing.
Michael,
right
Yeah.
don't forget to breathe.
now. Yeah.
He's breathing through his nose. I can
But
tell.
honestly, but
Breathing
like
through your nose
and
is
he
super
has a
important.
nose on him too.
Oh, leave Michael alone.
Hey, Esther
But-
loves my nose.
Oh, you know what?
maybe where she likes to put that. But
Yeah.
anyway, now what I was saying is like, so I have this like severe anxiety with like not being able to breathe. I guess I don't know if it's that severe, but like it's something I
I
noticed.
mean, I don't think anybody wants not to breathe.
Of course.
Well, it's not really that, but you're like,
Like, I'm
hyper
sure-
aware
Now
of it.
that we're aware of it, I want to text you every night. Don't forget to breathe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I'll be sitting there like,
so
God
put that
damn
group
it! Now I
message
gotta
every night
fucking...
before I go to
it's
bed.
like that movie Don't Breathe.
I'm gonna start
But-
telling y'all a good night every night, but I'm saying don't forget to breathe.
But so like speaking of like the snoring thing and all that. So like when I was a kid, and like I'd get sick or something like
Still a
that, right?
child.
What would you do? You go like, well, I did. I go like sleep with my grandmother or whatever, you know, and she like kind of helped take care of me and stuff like
It's
that.
Alabama.
And so yeah, it's Alabama, right?
The fuck does Alabama have to
But
do with it?
nah, but she'd help take care and all this other stuff. But she snores so bad, and she snores to the point where like she'll like catch herself like snore, and then not be able to breathe for a
Yeah.
minute.
So
So
make you nervous.
so
No, my grandma does that.
dude, so I'll be sitting there like if I
That's what I do
mess
every
up
night.
and I don't go to sleep before like she did or something like that, and I'm just like sitting there aware of what's happening, or if I wake up in the middle of the night and she'll be like sitting there snoring, and I'll try and go back to sleep, but she's like. But then she'll get to the point. And then I'm just sitting there like, God, and like just like I hear her like just stop breathing, just like struggling to get that next snore in. I'm like, oh God,
It's like
I need some relief here, and I try to like get up and walk away from the situation. I like sick trying to throw up on my way out the door or
when,
something
when
like
you
that.
hear that, when she gets that peak, you've already got like 9-1 dialed in there, and you're just waiting.
Yeah.
You're just waiting to hit one. Like, come on.
Yeah, but
Oh,
once
yeah.
that starts happening, I start stressing out about breathing. I'm like, oh,
Oh, Spencer, you
Oh.
sleep next to me. Is that
Oh
what
my
I'm like
God.
at night?
no, you just like,
Oh, you know what?
Because like,
You're a
dude,
soft snorer. You're a soft snorer.
me?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
If
thank
you-
You ain't slept next to me, actually, have you?
no,
I
I'm
don't
saying the way he
s-
described it, like
Oh.
you're a
Have you?
soft
Have I
snorer.
been that drunk?
Because I'm not gonna lie, like fuck, I snore a little bit when I sleep. Like,
but
I'm a soft
no,
snorer though.
I
No.
did a sleep study like 2 months ago, and
Bear did-
yeah, and I fell asleep for actually like I wore the device for 8 hours. It took me 2 hours to fall asleep, and I woke up 26 times in 6 hours.
Honestly, I feel like that's the most awkward environment to try to sleep in. I don't even know, like, because you're hooked up. There's a bunch of sensors on you. People are watching you sleep. They're monitoring you. You couldn't be in a worse
No,
environment.
no. This was at home sleep study, and they said.
Oh, okay.
And they said if there's like
Arbitrary.
if there's any sort
Redact.
of like bubble or anything like that, like where like they don't really know it was because of the sleep study or not, like
Yeah.
they would send me into the hospital to do it. But they had enough like they had enough content like for my sleeping in that 6 hours, like to decide like I had like severe like sleep apnea.
Yeah.
Damn.
And I'm actually like here in the next November, the VA is actually going to get me a CPAP machine. There's a recall on them right now, and I won't have one until November.
So one thing about Ashley, she's very bossy when she's asleep and she wakes up.
You're very bossy when you're awake.
Okay.
Oh,
No,
you're
no,
also
but-
very
Russell.
bald when you're awake.
No, but like she'll wake up, but she's not actually awake. She's just kind of like this weird trance, you know. It's almost like sleepwalking, but she's sleep talking. I'll come in the door and she's like, huh? Who is that? You need to get out of here. You need to. And she starts giving orders. I'm like, just go fuck to bed. You ain't know. Yeah, I just say whatever to her. I'm like, it's me, or go to fuck to bed. She's like, yeah. It's funny. She didn't really know what's going on. I want to just fuck with her one day, and like when she's like, who is it? And just grab her and shake her. Get out of the fucking house. Get out of the house. Just like really terrify her.
Well, if we're gonna talk about sleeping, you are the worst person to like absolutely cuddle when you're sleeping, or even just wake you up. I will literally wake out of my sleep and I'm like turned on my side and I want to turn over and I want to cuddle. I'll tap on Russell and Russell's like, I'm sleeping, leave me alone. And I'm just like, bro, I just want to cuddle. He's just like, go the fuck to sleep, man. I'm sleeping. I'm just like, God damn, I ain't never met.
Russell.
I have never met somebody that's so aggressive when they sleep. Like, he is the most crankiest person to wake up because he'll be like, I'm sleeping, please just leave me the fuck alone. I'm just
Yeah.
like, bro.
I don't mean to pat my own back, but I'm a pretty great cuddler. You know, Esther, she roll over.
Pretty great color.
She
I
roll
just-
over.
Are you
and I literally-
ladies
I
listening?
slip my arm.
All you ladies listen. Michael's a great cuddler.
I just think
no,
that
dude,
I'll
honestly-
slip my arm. I'll let my arm go dead asleep.
I want to bring up something we've always wanted to talk about on the podcast. We kind of debated if we should or shouldn't.
What?
Huh.
But here's the thing about obviously for the listeners, you've been listening to these stories, so obviously we sleep in the same bed sometimes. Still,
Oh, dude.
And- and
Yeah,
it's-
we're adults. We
and
sleep in
we're-
the same bed.
yeah,
So what?
yeah. So what? You know. So, but never once in these moments where I've been sleeping with my homies, I felt like grabbing his penis and start cranking on.
However, go ahead, Spencer.
Now
Talk about him.
Whoa! I would like to say that
I was just a far right.
makes a lot of like homosexual comments about how you come and stay with me and like we cuddle up and go to bed.
Well-
She does make a lot of homosexual.
And you're half a
comments
twin
about it.
mattress.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I have a full or maybe possibly a queen. I don't know the size of this bed.
Yeah, but how big y'all are? You know?
No. So,
but
with that
anyway,
being
we
said-
had this friend.
Oh
Um,
man.
And I'm not gonna mention him or anything like that, but we had this friend or whatever who ended up later on down the line, came out of the closet a little bit, found out he was a little bit gay, which is fine. However,
Do I
He
know this
projected it.
he projected it onto like me and Michael because at this time Michael would come over to my house and he'd stay for a couple weeks at a
Most
time.
obnoxious.
Yeah, and so the thing is, whenever he came out as gay or whatever, that he was struggling with gay tendencies, this, that, and the other, he was
Because he grew up in a Christian family.
yeah, he grew up in a
and
very
he
Christian
went to
family.
church, and so it was just really sad.
Do I know this person?
You don't know him, no.
No, he couldn't understand how
What
me
does
and
his name
Spencer
rhyme with?
could literally sleep in the same bed and not want to jack each
Yeah,
other
we
off.
had, yeah, dude, we had this conversation with him one time. He called us on the phone one day, and he was sitting there. This is after kind of told us like, hey, this is what I deal with, and we're like, that's fine, there's nothing wrong with that. But the thing is, when he started projecting it onto us, like thinking that that's the norm, he'd be like, you're over there spending the night with Spencer all the time, but how? And y'all sleep in the same bed? Y'all are definitely gay too. And I was like, where are you getting this information? It's like, well, the thing is like, if you're sleeping in the bed with another man, how can y'all not like experiment a little bit? And it's like, bro, like, what the fuck you talking about? It's like, dude, if you're just in the same bed with another guy, don't want to like kind of fiddle around, maybe grab his penis a little bit,
Yeah.
suck on it, maybe. Like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about?
That's
like,
my homie, dude.
this
What are you
my
talking
homie,
about?
dude.
Jesus.
So I'm a freshman in college, and this is when me and him were like pretty close and whatnot. And I invite him over. He stays with me in my mom's house. This is a different house than what we're in right now. And sleep in the same bed because I've literally done that with all my friends. And I'm like, it's like 1:00 in the morning, and I feel his foot just like rubbing the back of my leg, and I move it, because maybe he's just adjusting himself. And I move it a little bit, like maybe 4 inches, and then I feel his toes start, touching my calf again, and then it starts working my way down the foot. I'm like, okay, move it again. And I'm like, yo, how far? Like, do I have to go before this guy stops playing footsies with me? And I'm like, yo, scooch over, man. Like I'm already halfway out the bed.
Yeah, this dude just could not get it, which is, like I say, he just struggled with a lot. But at the
That's
same
sad.
time, it's like, dude, like just because like you're struggling doesn't mean everybody is.
I just feel like some guys that are in the gay community, and like you said, he was a very strong Christian background. It's harder for them to come out, and then they feel like, I just have to experiment where I can experiment, or see where I can go, You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he's not comfortable himself, one, and two, he's probably never really hung around other gay men.
Yeah.
Well,
where
or
he
let's
feel
say
like
other
he
gay
can
men, like
experiment.
we're gay men.
But the only thing that
No.
I would have to say to that would kind of like a carnal argument is because he was open to me about it.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was very
And I'm
open
just
to
like-
us. Like whenever he finally became like open to us,
I'm
he was
just
just
like,
open to us, and he told us.
like-
Well,
about it.
maybe he was just one of those guys that thought like maybe you guys wouldn't mind to experiment, but
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we laid down the law pretty well.
But
But
I'll say that's not literally all gay men because like one of my other best friends,
yeah,
super gay.
yeah.
You know? I've known it since he was middle school. He came out in high school, and I was like, I already knew.
Some are
And me and
more
him-
confident.
When I went up to Oregon, hanging out, slept in the same bed, none of that.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't trying to experiment on me.
Some of them know that boundary though. They know
Yeah.
like, hey, that's
yeah,
my friend.
Well,
I don't want
this
to cross
guy,
that
like
boundary.
I said, he was, he didn't understand boundaries. And here's the thing that was kind of funny. Like before we knew, the first time he came to like I said, he was very socially awkward, a little bit,
The socially awkward thing is the most off-putting thing about
Yeah,
this guy.
yeah,
He's
and-
super weird, man. Just
yeah,
a
he
weird
was a
fella.
weird guy, but we don't mind like
Was this
trying.
the guy from the gym the other day, Russell, you pointed out?
Yes. That's why now that I have a bald head and beard, he probably doesn't recognize me as much. And I'm not gonna say nothing. And you ain't gonna say nothing either.
And no.
Because he's
Keep your
gonna
head
call
like-
Michael. Because he's
You're
gonna
like,
call
hey,
Michael.
You like, because me and you had this conversation, like, I should go talk to that guy. And I was like, if you want to.
If
You
want
never
to.
did.
But the thing is crazy. Like I don't get, you can't. It's kind of funny. I don't give my parents or grandparents like enough credit. But like, sometimes parents do know best in some ways. Cause like the first time he came over, the first time like we started like hanging out with him or whatever, and he came over, spent the night.
Whoa,
And-
I would like to say your papaw asked my lady friend if she was a trans.
Oh my gosh!
Last time.
Jeez.
On the 4th of July.
Yeah, that's a very papaw thing.
Oh,
However, but this was a
Like,
conglomerate.
I
Boomer.
wanted to say this girl looks.
She's very feminine.
She's very feminine. Looks,
Papa dropping diss tracks
she looks
on
good. Like there's
better
no
drop a
no way
diss.
around that. Big titties, little booty. Like does not look like she is like harvesting a cock between them legs. He's like, you ain't one of them transvestites, are you?
Oh my god.
But anyway, like back to what I was saying.
Because he saw something on the news and just felt like he needed to ask her that.
I feel like he
Papa
thinks
is-
it's like, oh, this is gonna land. This is a joke that is super humorous,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it just
Papa don't have the greatest, sensibilities sometimes.
no firewall there blocking
but
off.
but anyway, so like he came and this is before any of that, any of this coming out stuff or anything. He came over and spent the night one time. Me and my brother and him, and I think even Russell came over or whatever. But anyway, we all spent the night and hung out with everybody and had a decent time. He's just doing his thing. And then when he left, my grandparents were like, I have a weird feeling about him. Like, what do you mean? He's like, that kid is gay. And we're like, no, he's just a little socially awkward, Granted, we're like 18 or something, haven't had like too much experience with all that.
and he's like 4 years older than us.
He was like 4 years older than us,
Which is weird in
which is
itself.
kind of weird. In
I wasn't
itself.
really hanging out with 18, 17-year-olds when I was 22, but, whatever.
But anyway,
Yeah, I wasn't either.
yeah, he was a little bit older, but it just kind of felt like, oh, whatever, the dude's trying to be our friend, no big deal. Like, and nothing ever weird came of anything. He was just a little bit socially awkward. Like, he didn't like strike us as anything going on. But whenever he left, like my grandparents was like, no, he's that kid's gay, and we're like,
But-
no, where are you getting that from? Is like we just know,
the what?
and we just like dismissed it like just fine. But then like a few years later, he came out as gay. I was like, damn, they were right.
One thing
Because he didn't like that deck of cards you had. That's where they drew the line right there in the sand.
One thing I about I think his parents were kind of abusive and like
Oh,
emotionally
they're very
abusive.
Well, they were
Like,
extremely
did we talk
Christian. They were
about
extremely religious?
Did we talk about the thing that one time where they called him? Have we talked about it on the podcast yet?
Where they called him?
Yeah, they called. Okay, so
We haven't talked about any
it.
of this on the podcast. This is all open.
Okay, so yeah, I remember hanging out with him in Dolphin Island with a buddy of mine named James, and we were hanging out and sitting on this dock. And anyways, parents call him, and he's like 23 at the time, probably. You know, because we hung out with him for a while, and they're like, "Where are?" And he's on speaker, and it's like, "Where are you?" Goes, "I'm hanging out with my friends, Mom," and that's how he sounds. And I'm like, "Oh, this is so weird." And me and James are out there on a pier listening to this, and she's like, "You don't have any friends," like fucking Gollum on Lord of the Rings. "You don't have any friends." He's like, "You don't have any friends. People don't care about you." And he's like, "Mom, you're always in my life." And he starts hitting this really just, I'm talking like nails on a chalkboard type cry. And it was so awkward that me and James couldn't even laugh or even look at each other and try to hide our laughs. We were just like, Everybody's looking into the water, looking, just trying to find something to stare at.
Oh, that's a nice stick floating down.
Yeah, and he just on the other side, and like, you need to get home right now. This is like Psycho in the making. This is like Norman Bates type material.
No. There was a legit thing. Like his parents, they played a big role in the abuse and which kind of shaped him to be like the kind of
Socially oddball, yeah.
You know, and like I still feel bad for him, but the thing is like he became kind of too much to handle after a while, like just with.
And it was literally because of him trying to like project his own sexuality onto us.
Well, it wasn't really. That played a very small part, but the biggest part was just
A
like
weirdo, man.
Well, the biggest part was just
I
like.
care less. Like in my friend group, like if Michael of all, I feel like you'd be the one to come out gay if in our friend group.
Oh, thank you.
I
buddy.
agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
I appreciate it,
Continue.
guys.
we all agree.
I appreciate it. It's a compliment.
Like you or Weston because he's weirdly married. You know what I mean? Russell's too straight to like. I believe. Oh, Russell is just too straight for that. But maybe.
Hey, just
maybe,
because I know how to dress and do my hair, don't hate on me.
Yeah, or Weston because he's like the most manliest one in the group.
It's like projecting his manliness. But the thing, the biggest reason for that falling out is just like
Fucking weirdo, man.
Well, no, it's just like he couldn't handle like not being included in something. It's not like us purposely.
Oh yeah.
It was
God,
more.
that's what Russell was telling me the other day. Jimmy's like, man, that guy used to freak out because he wouldn't be included in our shit.
Well, it's like if I go hang out with Michael, like just me and him hang out.
Why didn't you invite me?
Nobody gives a shit. Russell called me up or Barry called me up. Hey, what you doing? And he was like, oh, me and Michael are sitting around doing nothing.
So me
and
and
they're
Barry,
like, okay, cool.
Me and Barry went and did karaoke by ourselves the other day without anybody in this damn room, and Spencer didn't call me like, "Brr," and it was just so awkward because I remember.
Well, Spencer was out of town, and Michael just doesn't want to hang out with us on the weekend.
Yo, I
either
got
way,
a girl, and we got a schedule going, and I get tired early.
That's fine, but here's the deal, though. It's like, I was at spring break, Panama City Beach, and I was like,
And we were at spring. Me and him were at spring break, and this is when honestly the last time I talked to him.
that was at another spring break. I remember he called them first, then he calls me. He's like, Russell, what are you doing? And he's like having an episode, and I was like, well, I'm in Panama City Beach right now. What are you doing, man? And he's like, why'd you guys leave without me? Brr, and then all this, and I'm like, first of all, Michael and Spencer aren't here. This is a different friend group, people you don't really know. I would have asked, dude. I didn't know. It's just kind of a thing I'd planned a long time ago before I knew you. And he's freaking out, crying, yelling at me like, you and Spencer don't invite me to nothing. And I'm just like, dude.
And the thing is, that's not an exaggerated cry.
Yes, that is his cry. Go ahead and hit it one time.
All right. So anyway, the first instance of this
I'm
was
just making fun of this man. At this
well,
point.
it is what it is.
It's good content. Keep it rolling.
But anyway, so like, Michael came to my house one night, and he just showed up one day, and we just sitting there playing video games. It got to be about 2:00 in the morning. He calls, and he's like, hey, what are you doing? And I'm like, well, we're Michael ended up coming over, and we're just sitting here kind of bullshitting, probably about to go to bed here in a minute. He's like, what, Michael's over there? Well, what? Well, can I come? And I was like, well, we're about to go to bed, and it's like 2 in the morning. You live all the way out. He lived a good way. Yeah, he lived about hour drive away, and it's like, no, dude, don't worry about it. It's like, we're just about to go to bed, this, that, and the other. And he's like, but but you invited him over, and you ain't gonna invite me. It was like, dude, he didn't even invite himself. Or I didn't even invite him. He just showed up. It's like, I don't really know what to tell you right now. It's
I'm
like
that type of guy. I'll
It's
knock
like,
on your door. If you don't want me there, I'll just leave.
yeah, it's like, bro, it's like not that big of an issue. It's like, what's the issue? He's like, well, I just feel like I'm left out, and then he just hit this cry. I had this first time we heard it.
Go
like,
ahead,
legit,
DJ. Spin that shit.
And he just like, I just feel like I'm being left out. And then like, and we're like, Jesus Christ, man, calm down. What's the issue? You know, like, bro, this is normal. It's not that big of a deal. You know, I was planning on going to hang out with you like next week or two. It's like not that big of a deal. And he starts crying and crying and crying. The next thing you know, what made it so awkward was then his mom.
No, hold on. No, you're thinking of a different time because we weren't at your dad's house. We were at Mackenzie's house.
No, that was the second time. This is when we shut him off.
When his mom came in.
No, when his mom came in was at Dad's
Mackenzie's
house.
That was recent.
No, this was like 20.
A different
Mackenzie.
2013, 14?
A different Mackenzie.
Different one.
Long time ago.
2014 or 15.
Different
something
Mackenzie
like
in Smithers life.
But anyway, but yeah, and then his mom busts in. What's going on? Why are you crying? He's like, oh my god.
Mom, get out.
He was like, Mom, get out of my room. We're like, dude, like, and we're not genuinely not like.
You've been using all my damn lotion again. I know what you've done, me. You've been putting on my lipstick. Huh? Is mommy gonna have to spank her little bitch again? Boo.
Yeah, dude, it was probably one of the most awkward situations I've ever had in my life. And like, honestly, the bad thing was, me and Michael did not react very well into it because like, it's such an awkward situation that the only thing you can do is like laugh.
You got, dude, I didn't even laugh, dude. It was really weird.
Yeah, so I had like, he's like sitting there crying. I had to like put my phone on mute, and me and Mike was like busting out laughing.
Like when I look back at it, I just feel like a total asshole, and I still feel like a total asshole to just like talking about it. But it's to the point to where, I mean, really, it like you would have to know this guy to feel the circumstances that we were under. Like, it wasn't like your typical like friend that you would just hang out with and want to call and just chill with for like the rest of the weekend. Like, he was, you know, if you were going to a certain place and, you know, you met new people, this dude could not hold an actual conversation that would build into like, you know, like it was a, you know, like a conversation that happens to be a caterpillar that blossoms into a butterfly, like that, those kind of conversations. Mm-hmm. He would literally just, it would revert.
Well, hell, depending on the circumstance, none of us can do that.
Yeah, dude. And the weird thing,
but the second time, I don't know. Remember how we kind of like alleviated that situation, but it was like, you know, hey man, it's all right, you know, whatever.
Before you go, I want to point out he was like an insult magnet where people hung around him for just a minute, and everybody would just give an insult. Like, for example, he came over to my granny's one time, and we played music. All of us played music, obviously. So then, like, comes over and he brings his little violin. He's like, I got this tune called Irish Washerwoman, and he starts doing it, and he's like fucking it up real bad, and he's all over the place. And my granny's kind of sitting there watching him, and he was being weird about it. It's like, oh, maybe I didn't practice it, and he's starting being really weird over and over. And Granny just kind of walks out the room. She's like, that guy's really weird, and also, that's not how you play a fiddle. That old yada yada boy can play a fiddle, yada yada, and whatever. But it was just a really strange. It's really strange how everybody's interaction with him, they come away and be like, that guy's a fucking creep. And he's potential serial killer material, I'm going to be honest with you.
The bad thing about it is like, so two things. It's just like, when you were actually like hanging out with him, everything was fine. Like he's a perfectly swell person to be around. You know what I mean?
Swell?
Yeah.
Michael's like offended. Swell?
Yeah. Yeah, like just generally, like when you go out hanging out with him or something like that, just like you and him or something like that, everything was fine.
I felt like it was me, like starting a conversation and then just guiding it, and just like I like more so like trying to hit like fish in a barrel.
Like talking to me.
Hit or miss.
Well, I would say
like talking to me, Michael.
Well, see, I didn't really have that problem so much. It was just like, you know, it was fine, like talking to him and everything was cool. It was just those moments where, like, if you weren't hanging out, he just got like upset. But at the same time, like whenever it actually fell out, me and Michael, we had our little beach trips that we would take for spring break and stuff. And yeah, they were awesome. But anyway,
Thank you,
he called us one day, and while we was going to, like we said before, we was going to this girl's house to hang out and do whatever, and he called us on the way there, and he's like, "Hey, what are y'all doing?" We're like, "Oh, we're down here on Ono Island, about to head to our friend's house." And it hit us, like, "You invite me," just all this stuff, and honestly, and by this point, we just had enough. It's like, I swear to God, if you don't lighten up, like this is done. Like we're not hanging out with you anymore. And he just kept just going. And I was like, all right, man, we're done. Click. And that was the last time I've ever talked to him.
Yeah, well, you know where to find him, man. If you want to have some makeup convos.
Yeah, he's
Like okay, this
Remind
one
me.
time, I had a membership there, canceled it, whatnot, and I see him there. I mean, this guy lives in, and I'm in Daphne, and he comes up to me because he notices me, and we like have a conversation. He's like, "Hey, man, how you been?" And I'm like, "Oh, I've been good, just doing my own thing, just a few little chatters," and then we just split ways. Well, the manager comes up to me, and she's like, "Do you know that guy?" And I was like, "What did he do?" Like, I already knew just by the way that she asked me. And she was like, "Well, I seen him like last weekend downtown, and he was talking to me, and like, he asked where I worked and whatnot, and I told him Planet Fitness, and he like tracked me down and started coming to this gym." And I was like, "Yo, he lives in," I was like, that's basically like a 45-minute drive to this gym. And he started going there because she worked there. And he would come up to the counter and just start trying to have like small talk. But it wasn't just like, like, "Hey, how you been?" kind of thing. She said it was like very, very awkward. Like she felt super uncomfortable, and she was like telling me this, and I was like, yeah, I don't think he's like all the way there. He's super confused about a lot of things. I was like, don't be alarmed. I mean, I don't really talk to him anymore because we've kind of had some issues and we've fallen out. And it was just the fact that not a random person, but just this manager literally came up to me and asked me like if I knew him because he was making her feel uncomfortable.
That's, man, just a reputation, man, about that guy.
It was, I don't know.
He did, didn't he?
Look, this podcast has took like a turn for like we have done him a bash this man, which I know nothing of this guy, for the past 20 minutes.
Okay, guys, we're making good content now of this. In all seriousness, looking back, it was funny because it was so weird and awkward and nervous and sad. But
And,
at
like,
the end of
Just
the
be
day,
careful who you
This
hang
is
out
more
with.
of like
is
a
honestly
side
what this
conversation
last little bit came out
At this
with.
point, between our buddies.
If
other
you feel
than
bad about
that.
hanging out with somebody, because you feel like they're lonesome and stuff like that, that's a good thing. Just try it out, but know when to cut ties.
the moral of the story is some folks are just weird and they
Yeah.
just don't fit in the
And
friend
some
circle.
people just want
dangerous.
to diddle your daddy.
Well,
Diddle your
guys,
diddly.
I appreciate you coming out to the Rusty Chatters podcast, and we enjoyed everything. So everybody take care and peace.
1 hour.